Currently, I'm updating my prospect rankings for the 2023 NFL draft class since we're kind of at that midway point in college football. And today I want to talk about the hog mollies, the big boys up front, the unsung heroes. But first, what's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. As always, let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you want to see my full evals and my full prospect rankings, go ahead, check out the Patreon. Link to that's in the description below. But we're going to be talking about the offensive line. I'm going to talk about the offensive interior first. And I'm only going to be talking about 5 guys because really, that's kind of about it in this prospect class. So let's go ahead and get into that with number 5, Steve Avila out of TCU. Dude's having a really good season. He was actually initially a 4-star recruit in the 2018 class. He redshirted his freshman season. Then he played a reserve role in 2019. And then during the shortened Big 12 season in 2020, he started all 9 games with coming at center, right guard, and right tackle. 2021, he started all 11 games at guard, saw some action at right tackle, and then this year, a majority of the time he's played, I believe, at right guard and a little bit at center. But this is a big boy. He a big boy. 6'4", 334. Dude is a big boy, but he improved. He at least moves pretty impressively for that weight. He's pretty quick out of his stance. He shows quick feet, whether it's in the short area or if it's out there on the move. He mirrors defenders well in pass protection, and he hits them with that raw power. Because you're 334, you better be strong. And he is. He is very much so. Like, he's just got so much upper body strength that he can bend defenders backwards. He hits defenders with strong hands, and he's got impressive grip. And, like, I mean, for a prospect with really much to work on, we'll get to that. Like, he's very tantalizing, and that's why he's playing good football this year. So, top 75 grade for him. Basically, we can sum up what he needs to work on in 3 words, and that's leverage, which he's actually got better at this year, technique and awareness. The dude is a big boy and a tall center, and he's very top heavy. He struggles sinking his hips and allows defenders to get up under his pads. This is more so in pass protection. In the run game, he's very good at this. Very good at getting low and pushing forward. It's when when he's in pass protection, has to step back rather than commit forward, is where we kind of see this tall center problem of leverage. Also, his technique could be a bit all over the place. His hands, while strong, they do come at you at like a snail's pace. So there's that. He's had a hard time dealing with interior players that can just rattle one move after another, and relies too much on his sheer size to slow down defenders. Like, he's more so in pass protection. You're gonna have to get around me. Oh crap, you got around me, type of thing. Lastly, too often he's a my assignment only guy. Doesn't really pick up on stunts or blitzes. He's just focused at what he has in front of him and doesn't really see the bigger picture, so to speak. And he just occasionally misses this, but for all intents and purposes, very good prospect. On to number 4, I got Cooper Beebe, another top 75 grade. He's going to be a redshirt junior with COVID year. I don't know how that all works out. Maybe he's a redshirt sophomore technically. I don't know. It's kind of weird. But Beebe is a very interesting prospect. He was a 3-star recruit out of the 2019 class. He was originally a defensive tackle, but made the move to the offensive side of the ball when he arrived there at Kansas State. Played basketball in high school, competed in the shot put. Actually placed in 3rd in state back in 2017. Now, he only played 1 game as a freshman, so he redshirted. In 2020, he started the first 7 games of the season at right tackle, but before being moved to left guard. He did miss a game in that season with an undisclosed injury, so not much I can point out about that, but he's played in every game since. He was mainly playing, or almost primarily playing left tackle in 2021. This year made the move to left guard, though he has taken some snaps at tackle when they needed him to, and he's looked great. He's looked great like anytime he's played ever. Like that's just how he is. He plays real light on his feet for 320 pounds, and he can be a stretch blocker to some regard, like a pull it, like if you want like a swing tackle. He's also, again, a guy that ideally is a guard in the NFL. Very athletic for his build. He's still jam-packed with a ton of power throughout his frame. He overwhelms defenders right from the point of attack. Plays with a nasty mentality that the NFL just loves, especially in the run game. Very disciplined with his technique, and hardly ever lost on the outside there at tackle. Not in the Big 12, you're seeing a lot of three-man fronts, so it's not like he was very tested in that regard either. He has the build of a guard because he lacks that desired length on the outside, which it's fine. It's fine. He's been praised by coaches for his work ethic, which is great. You love to see that. You love to see guys that work hard. When Beebe does lose, typically it's him being laid off the snap. This is something I have seen a ton. Mainly in the 2021 tape, but the dude does come off late sometimes and plays a bit high, loses that leverage. Those things are few and far between, but it does come up. As a run blocker, he can get overly aggressive and turn into a bit of a lunger. And I like to say this in the second level where he just gets toroed by guys, where he's like the bull and you got the matador here, just like, huzzah! I don't know. I think it's clever, but that's what it reminds me of. I remember watching, what was it? Two big guys that were that did this a ton were Doug Kramer out of Illinois last year. There was one where the defender, he didn't even have to move much. I just saw him just straight, just when mannequin just right to the ground. It was pretty impressive. Who was another one? Oh my gosh. Tevin Jenkins was another one back in the day. But Cooper Beebe's really good. The upside, again, he moves well, not necessarily for the outside. Packs a lot of power. He's just very good, just not very tested in the Big 12. I guess that's a good thing. He's consistently better than the guys he gets lined up against. And yeah, sometimes he's just looking bored out there. But Beebe is a good prospect. He's kind of this midday 2 for me. I have him as a top 75 just because he's just outside the top 50 for me. And then going to the top 50, John Michael Schmitz. Sounds like it could be a song. John Michael Schmitz. Maybe I'm thinking John, what was it? John Jingleheimer? I don't know. Let me know in the comment section below if you know what I'm going for. It's John Jacob Jingleheimer Smith. I think that's what it is. I don't know. Stupid joke. It's done. Let's get over it. This guy's been playing football for a long time there in Minnesota. Mr. Michael Schmitz was a former 3-star recruit from the 2017 class. Also wrestled in high school. Redshirted his freshman season. Mostly played on special teams in 2018. Then in 2019, he saw significant playing time despite only making 3 to 4 starts that year. Then he started every game in 2020. In 2021, he started every game. He was second. He was a second team All Big Ten. He did injure his left foot in the bowl game in 2021. He said that didn't play a role in his decision to return because honestly, it could have been a day 2 pick in the 2022 class. Apparently, he made the announcement of the decision prior that he wanted to return to school for one more year. I don't know why, but here he is. Foot injury didn't come into play. He's played every game this season. I think he's PFF's highest graded offensive lineman, or at least he's up there. And this dude's really good. If he wasn't going to be he's, again, an older prospect, and so is the other guy. The other guy we're going to talk about next, John Michael Schmitz is going to be 24 by the time he takes NFL snap, but he's just so pro ready. Like, dude's a feisty center, doesn't possess overall strength. However, he does combine. He does like have that grittiness you love to see. Combines that with a mean demeanor and just makes for a bad time if you're a defender. Like, he's got these long meat hooks for arms that once he latches on, you're not letting go. You're stuck dancing with this guy until the end of the snap, dude. That's just what he does. He shows good footwork. The contact balance is really good. On top of that, he has the body type to play either center or guard. So you love that. The movement skills are pretty solid. Overall, I like what he does at the point of attack, and he drives through blocks, making him natural for a gap blocking scheme, but not to say he can't play an outside zone blocking scheme. Now, while he's strong, there are times he gets thrown around. He's not like dominated. It's not dominating strength we're talking about. Like, a guy can play strong and still not necessarily be that strong, and that's kind of the case for John Michael Schmitz. He is a natural mover, but I wouldn't say he's got elite quicks or twitch or movement skills. They're all right. That's just kind of what it is. They're okay, but like physically, like I've saw him in one first round mock draft. Like, this guy doesn't have a high enough upside to be a first rounder, but day two, if you're looking for like a day one starter, it's kind of what he is. Like, you could start this guy immediately and feel good about it. So, good on you, John Michael Schmitz. Then on to Andrew Voorhees out of USC. This cat will also be 24 when he suits up for the NFL. Could have been a day two pick last year, decided to come back. Don't know why. Really don't. But let's quickly talk about a little background. Former four-star recruit from the 2017 class. He graduated a semester early to enroll in the spring and started the final 9 games at right guard for the Trojans. We're gonna get into during this early part of his career, there was some injury stuff. Like, he had knee cartilage surgery in the spring of 2018, but despite that, managed to start in 11 games at right guard as a sophomore. Then he got married. Yay! Let's celebrate. He got married in 2018. That same year. So 2019, he started the season as a backup before an ankle injury. In the second game, ended his season, chose to redshirt that year. No kidding. In the shortened Pac-12 season of 2020, he played left guard in 5 games. And then in 2021, he started the first. Again, we're past injury stuff. It was those two things. Hasn't been an issue since. So in 2021, he started the first 8 games at left guard before moving to left tackle for the final 4 games because they had nobody good at tackle. So, and he actually did a really good job there. Like, I was like borderline, I think this guy can play tackle. I still think he can play tackle if he wants to in the NFL or if you need him to, but he just probably is better at the guard position. Again, decided to come back after being a third team All-American or first team All-Pac-12. Decided to come back, kind of is what it is, but he's been really good this season. He really has. He's not nearly been, I would say, as dominant as last season, but he's still out there doing his thing. He's still one of the highest graded offensive linemen per PFF. Now, this dude is probably easily the most reliable offensive lineman on USC's offensive line, probably in the nation. Like, this guy's just been reliable. He's played both sides of the offensive line, and he showed that he has the movement skills to play tackle, again, if you need him to, but he's likely a guard in the NFL. He's a mauler in the run game. He's been opening up running lanes for years for the Trojans. He plays with a hot motor. He gets that second level, looking for someone to hit. I love that. He's just like, gets that second level like, I love that. I love that about him. He's always looking for someone to hit. His mitts, they're like handcuffs. We were talking about the big meaty hooks of John Michael Schmitz. Now let's talk about the big oven mitts of Voorhees, dude. Once he engages, he's pretty hard to break free from. Counter plays are a treat on the eyes, dude. With this guy, when you need this guy to move to the other side of the line, like he does that with ease. He flies to his blocking assignment quickly. He looks smooth doing so. As a pass blocker, he doesn't concede much ground at the point of attack. But when he anchors down, it's darn near impossible to move. Like when he has to like reset his arms, reset his anchor, he does so quickly, and it's done. It's a done deal. You're not getting pressure. That's it. He does present a wide base, and he's never content taking up space, dude. This guy's aware. He's always looking around his surroundings, looking if like is there a blitz that needs picked up, like is there a stunt play coming, do I need to move this side, what is this guy next to me doing, do I need to come help him, like there are literally multiple plays back in from his 2021 tape of him seeing another player's lapsed assignment and picking it up. Like this guy's really good. Now Voorhees, his decision returning was kind of puzzling because he is one of the older prospects. Again, he's going to be 24 when he takes his first NFL snap. Also at 6'6", he really has to work to get leverage. He doesn't have that natural leverage, and there are some times he will concede ground right off, like right at the gate, right from when the snap starts. There are times where he will concede a considerable amount of ground. But again, if you're trying to pick holes in this game, it's kind of few and far between. He's just a really do-good prospect. And then my number one interior guy is Osiris Torrance out of Florida. It's finally come full circle. I was saying this at the beginning of the year. He was someone I just wanted to see first before jumping him too much. And now the hype train is there. We're talking about this guy like at the back end of the first round. Initially, this dude was a 3-star recruit out of the 2018 class. He committed early on to Louisiana Lafayette, despite later on SEC offers were coming in like late. But he was like, you know what, I already committed. You know, you see a lot of guys decommit. He wasn't one of those. He knows what commitment is. I'm showing you my wedding band because I know what commitment is. It's lifelong. Well, apparently it wasn't lifelong for I guess, I don't know, technically to agree. I was going to say, because eventually after just, getting early playing time with the Raging Cajuns, he eventually moved on to the Florida Gators. But that was with his former coach there at Louisiana Lafayette, now leaving Billy Napier. So I guess, commitment goes a long way. He was like, my coach is leaving? Hey, I got you. I'm following. Where you go, I will go. So, and he's just been blowing it up this season. Dude's been great. He's been, again, phenomenal run blocker. He's proved that this year. I think he is in the top 5 in terms of run block grades for PFF. In terms of pressure, little to none. As you can see, 2 pressures allowed on the season. I don't believe he's been penalized either. Dude's just good. Now let's talk about like the details here, because the dude, if you could tell, 6'5", 332, very sturdy build. He has great length for the position, lots of power in the frame, easily absorbs contact. It's like you're trying to punch a brick wall. I don't suggest doing it, but it's kind of like that. I love the grip strength. I love how he just imposes his will on defenders. He looks to bury guys. And the NFL, they're just going to love that. They're going to love that mentality because we talk about it all the time. That's why Trevor Penning went so high, because of that mentality of wanting to just like, again, just lay guys 6 feet under. The NFL loves that. They love that nasty play style. And on top of that, dude, this guy's improved leaps and bounds as a pass protector. Not just this year, but like you saw that at Louisiana Lafayette. You just love it, dude. And he's never allowed a sack in his career. Dated till today. Never done it. He understands blocking angles, and he does his best work in close quarters. He does a very good job of just climbing to the second level, and often just really needs one arm to do so. He will literally take care of defensive linemen with one arm as he goes to get that next hit at the second level. I love that. Weight concerns. This might be a thing here. This might be something to monitor, but it hasn't been thus far. This dude used to be 420 pounds back in high school, his junior year of high school. He had to cut an extraordinary amount of weight, and that was something that again, that's just something to monitor throughout his career. Is this a guy that, you know, if he doesn't really work on it, he could just he just bloats up. So like, again, my kind of a minor concern because it hasn't been an issue throughout his collegiate career, but something to bring up. I believe it was Tyler Shelvin that had a very similar issue back at not at LSU, but during his his high school days, and then it was just something he really had to monitor when he got to LSU. So something to point out there. He also can be a bit high at times. 6'5", doesn't have that natural leverage, so he does have to work to get low and get leverage. Not necessarily the most fluid athlete, but on the offensive interior, you could get away with not being the best athlete. It's fine. So it's kind of not even it's whatever. He can be stiff when he's moving laterally, which in today's NFL feels like a lot of teams at least were moving more towards like a lot of like outside zone heavy blocking schemes. But again, I mean, not to say he can't do it. It's just something, again, he looks kind of, it doesn't look natural, you know, when he's doing it. But honestly, wonderful prospect. Like, again, any guy that can bend dudes to his whim, that's what you want on your team. So those are the 5 guys really with the offensive interior class that really need to be talked about. Everyone else is kind of like fringe day 2 at best, early day 3 at this point. It's not that impressive of an interior class. So let's go ahead and just move on to the offensive tackles, and I'm going to give you 10 there, starting with DeJuan Jones out of Ohio State. This guy is massive. Listen, I'm just saying, if Daniel Falele could go, did he go back into the 3rd round or early 4th? I don't know. If he went in that range, dude, Jones could definitely go a bit higher. Like, I think he's a much better prospect at a, I guess, similar size. I know, like, Falele was like, 380? But obviously Jones, his dude's is a mammoth. He is a massive human being, and he moves much better than you expect. This dude's got a pedigree, former 4-star recruit. He also, and it's not even like he's a bad athlete, because this dude played basketball in high school where he was averaging 17 points and 9 rebounds, and he received a D1 offers for basketball. So this guy's a very good athlete, not even for his size, just in general. He did start at right tackle in 2021. He's remained there this season, and he's been looking good. He's quick out of his stance, presents an extremely wide base if you didn't know. He's actually got a decent kick slide. Like I said, this dude moves pretty well. He understands blocking angles and will beat speed rushers to the outside. He imposes his will and physicality in the run game. Legitimately, it looks like Russell Crowe from Gladiator. He goes from one guy to the next. Da, da, da. Are you not entertained? And that's literally Jones, dude. I kind of love that about him. He's always looking to bury guys, really just knocking one down after the other. In 2021, he was 5th in big-time blocks among the Power 5 in tackles. Don't know what that number is this year, because I'm not seeing it right now. Is what it is. But this dude's built for a power blocking scheme. Really is. Now, again, the cons. Nobody should be surprised that at his size, lateral movement, it's not like great. It's good for his size, even like exceptional for his size. But still, it's still kind of like middling to above average for the position. Something to bring up there. He does suffer from the tall tackle problem where he does struggle to get low and get leverage in general. Like, sometimes defenders get under his pads relatively cleanly. Penalties, I think, are a good thing to bring up, because there are times where he will be beat by guys that are just they're just naturally quicker and actually have a plan of attack when it comes to Jones. Like guys, like if he's facing guys that aren't prepared, that don't have that good approach to the pass rush and don't know how to rattle off one move for another, like if he does this, I do this, and then I do this, like then yeah, he feeds on those guys that don't have that plan of attack. But with against ones that do, that are like these speedy, quickie, twitchy, bendy guys, then yeah, struggles do come into play. He already had 4 penalties this year of holding calls. And when it comes to his footwork, I would like to see him, at least in pass protection, to keep his feet moving. There's good examples of him opening himself up to inside moves, simply because he decides to plant his feet far before when the pass rusher was like, I'm not done with my sequence of moves yet. A good example of this, you could go back in 2021 versus Michigan. So something also to look for with the oncoming Ohio State-Michigan game, but overall, really good prospect. Next on the list, Darnell Wright out of Tennessee. Dude was a former 5-star recruit, so big pedigree to this guy's name. As a freshman, he made 7 starts with 5 at right tackle and 2 at right guard. Made the All-SEC freshman team. Very nice. In 2020, he appeared in 10 games with 9 starts at right tackle. And then in 2021, he started all 13 games at left tackle, and he has started every game at left tackle. This season, he's looked very good. Very good. Only 5 pressures on the season. He's a big body that presents a wide frame that's just hard to get around. He combines his length with surprisingly really good short area quicks, and you have the makings of just a very dangerous player in the run game. A guy that's able to get to the point of attack real quick and then move to the next guy, move to that second level. It's kind of scary, especially at that size. It's really good. He is very good on the move, and he does an excellent job of getting to that second level. His hands are very explosive. They just legitimately, it's like you could see you could see the impact behind the defenders. It's like an anime when someone hits them and you just see the out the back end. It feels that way when he's hitting guys. It's kind of legit. He also combines that well with very good leverage. This guy gets low, despite being that taller 6'6". This guy knows how to sink, get down, and lay ya out. Yes, sir. Also, he's been praised about his work ethic, which you just love to hear. When it comes to some of the things he could work on or some of the nitpicks here, while Wright is difficult to get around because of his width, he doesn't present very quick feet. Like he just doesn't, like, he's not the most fleet of foot guy when he needs to cover a lot of ground. So sometimes he gets to positions late, especially if we're talking about like pulling or swinging to the other side. So there's that. When edge rushers get around him, it's a result. They typically always result in sacks or holding calls. He had 10 penalties in 2021. While, again, that's all down for him this season, and you love to see it, it is still something you want to bring up. And like I said, like, this guy moves exceptionally well for his size, but again, that he moves well. He's moving well for his size. Keep that in mind. Keep that in context. Also, another guy that sometimes overextends. Again, this one's more few and far between, but there's times where, like, he's a baller and he does, like, again, overextend, get out in front of himself, and it causes balance issues. But overall, really good prospect. Then on to next on the list, Jalen Duncan. This is a cat. We're going to talk about penalties. He is the most penalized guy on this list. We'll talk about that in a sec. But former 4-star recruit from the 2018 class, Richard's freshman season, but he's been a starter ever since 2019 at left tackle. possesses great length, great athleticism. I see why people are putting this cat in their first round. Like, they look at the length, they look at the movement skills, and they're like, I like that a lot. I sees ya, I wants ya. I sees ya, I likes ya, I wants ya. That's basically the draft network right now. And they're not wrong, dude. Length and movement skills, man. You love to see that from a tackle. Like, when this guy gets out in front on screens, it's scary, man. It's scary. You can literally see, like, the deer in the headlight eyes from, like, corners. They're like, oh, no, what is this guy doing here? Oh, crap. Dude gets to the second level very quick, looking for someone to bury. As a pass blocker, he does a nice job of sinking his hips and getting leverage, has that wide base, just a nightmare to get around. He also shows a good feeling of anticipation for blitzes and stunts, and he literally, this dude's at his best when he's on the move. He also provides a wealth of experience. Now, this dude does stop his feet when initiating contact, and he relies a bit too much on his length. So quicker pass rushers, they tend to get the corner on him, and he is susceptible to the inside move. This usually draws holding calls, which, yes, they were a problem last year. They're a problem this year again. Just going to point that out there. This legit, it's just a thing. Now, he also, sometimes he allows guys to swat his hands to disengage. So I'd like to see a bit more, either stronger grip or just stronger arms, stronger hands. Guys should not be swatting your hands like that. They really should. He needs, honestly, to work overall on his footwork and pass protection. There are times he just kind of looks lumbering, and it's like, So that's why I got him as top 75. I'm not necessarily as high as everyone else is on him, but I do acknowledge he's a very good prospect. Next, I got Javon Foster out of Mizzou as a top 75, borderline top 50 guy for me. Dude was initially a 3-star recruit from the 2018 class. He redshirted his freshman season and didn't see significant playing time until 2021, where he started 13 games at left tackle, and then he's been the starter at left tackle all this season. Now, this dude spent 4 years just refining his body, honing his technique, and it shows, because the first crack he got started in 2021, he was easily one of the best run blockers in the SEC. That remains to be the case today. He plays with a hot motor. He legit grinds out every rep. I guess gritty is the word you're kind of looking for in this case. He shows excellent balance. He works with smart angles as a run blocker. He has that ideal frame for the position, and just he improved as a pass blocker as the year went on, and he's looked pretty good this year. And you may look at 10 pressures, 3 sacks. He's probably, out of everyone on this list, has faced the best pass rushers that college football really has to offer, especially there in the SEC. He's taken on like Brandon Cox, Derek Hall, and such. I think he's faced Georgia too. Yeah. He's taken on like Nolan Smith and company. So like this guy's taken on like very, very high caliber NFL prospects. So if you look at that and be like, I don't think those stats are all that good. It's like, okay, well, consider the competition. Now, I will say it is a big concern it took him so long to start there in Missouri, of all places, but he is started now, and he has looked the part through and through. His pass protection, while it's still a work in progress, it's still something that has been impressive for a guy that's really just started or just became a starter in college football. Does need to work on his core strength, and he does have a nasty habit of dipping his head to preventing himself from getting bent at the waist. So improving that core strength will go a long way, because as an offensive lineman, you want to keep your heads up and not like, ooh. You want to keep your eyes up. You want to be aware, be attentive. I did point out that this year he was facing a lot of high-end talent. Well, last year there was, like, penalties were a case. They haven't been the issue this season, but he had 7 penalties in 2021. You go to the North Texas game from 2021, and he got put into an absolute blender against the Murphy brothers. If you're not familiar with these guys, they ended up transferring to UCLA, both of them. They're wreaking havoc in the Pac-12 right now. So I look back at that Northwestern game like, okay, those guys were really good. Okay. To be fair, he was a first-time starter facing very good edge talent. Overall, really good prospect. Love the dude. On to Blake Freeland at a BYU. He is one of the highest graded offensive linemen currently this season. Dude's been very, very good. Former 3-star recruit in the 2019 class. He's got a very interesting background because he was labeled as an athlete coming out because of just the plethora of positions he played there in high school, being quarterback, tight end, and such. He also played basketball, and he was also a 6-time All-State in track and field. He holds the 6A Javelin State record. Kind of sick, kind of legit. Anywho, this dude has a lot of playing experience as well. First 2 years, he played right tackle, and then in 2021, he moved to left tackle to replace Brady Christensen. And overall, looks like a better prospect than Brady Christensen. I kind of have made the comparison that this is kind of like my Abraham Lucas in this class. I'm a big fan of. Dude's just a skyscraper of a human being at 6'8", but he shows very good athleticism, the ability to block on the move. He does a good job sinking the hips, and he is the type of technician you would expect from a BYU prospect. So hats off to you. His hands, very active, very precise. He throws hard jabs. I guess that comes from his javelin background. I don't know how those correlate. Shot put kind of makes sense. Javelin, it's a little, I don't know. I've never picked up a javelin, so I don't know if a javelin's all that heavy. So you know what? I have no idea, but I'm assuming these definite blows he delivers come from throwing the javelin. I guess I don't know. Regardless, though, he's good at either just knocking defenders back or putting them in the dirt in general. He's quick out of the stance. Honestly, ideal fit for any type of zone blocking scheme. Big fan. Now, anytime we bring, you look at a guy at 6'8", you worry about leverage. You worry about him struggling to get good leverage because you just don't have that natural leverage, you kind of got to work harder from that height. Well, when your head's in the clouds, you kind of got to work harder to get low. And he does a good job doing so. But really, I mean, I think at the NFL level, leverage will be a problem for you. I don't care. 6'8", it's going to be tough. I don't care how flexible you are. I don't care if you can put your lips to your butt. I don't care how flexible you are. At that height, leverage likely could be an issue in the NFL, as we saw actually with Abraham Lucas, who was a taller tackle. His first couple of starts this season, leverage was a problem, though he's got better as the season has gone on, and actually he's outplaying Charles Cross at this point. But it's just something to note. So there will be that concern. Honestly, that's my biggest concern when it comes to him. But overall, really good prospect. On to number 5, we got Anton Harrison out of Oklahoma. Dude's playing real good ball right now. He was a 4-star recruit from the 2020 class. He was listed as a starter on the Sooners depth chart headed into the 2020 season. Didn't play the season opener, but he played left tackle in 9 games there. I don't know why I slowed down. I think it's because I need to take a sip. Still recovering. I got laryngitis, I guess. Wow, that's some high quality high tea. Or high quality H2O. It's a Water Boy reference. I don't know what to tell you. Anywho, he's been playing left tackle ever since. He's held a guy that was kind of thought of to be a very high end tackle prospect for the draft for the last couple of years in Wanya Morris. So he's been a big reason why that guy couldn't see the field. other issues. We could talk about Morris at a later day. Anyway, it's easy to see why that Oklahoma wanted to get this guy on the field right away, because like this dude plays with a good wide base. He shows great movement skills. He is quick out the stance, mirrors exceptionally well, shows great blitz recognition and a feel for pressure despite the lack of strength. We'll get into that in a sec. That he takes contact exceptionally well. He's good at resetting quickly when he needs to, and legit coaches, both the Lincoln Riley coaching staff and the Venables coaching staff, just gloat about this guy's leadership, work ethic, football IQ. So you love to hear it. This is why we talk about this guy as like fringe first sometimes. Big area of concerns is arm length. That'll be something we won't really know specifically until the draft. But I will say this. I think arm length, I bet you he comes out with at least close to 33-inch arms, but they look a lot smaller than that because his arms aren't always the most active. And actually, this is specifically why I pulled this picture, as there are times where he just keeps his hands too low throughout the whole snap. So just putting that out there. Also, strength. I mentioned strength was a concern, and he actually pointed that out during the summer where he was aware that, I know my play strength could be better, and that's something he's worked on in the weight room. And while he does appear stronger this season, obviously it's not there yet. It takes time to put on muscle, and I expect that to get better, as the season goes on and actually going into the NFL. So there's that. Also, don't know if the NFL will love his mentality. When it he just doesn't have the nasty mentality of like Mortal Kombat, finish him. He doesn't have that type of mentality. More so, man. Like this cat's not throwing indefinite blows. He's really just trying to man up his assignment, keep his guy in check. He's not trying. He just wants to move the guy. He ain't looking to bury nobody. He's a pacifist, I guess. But overall, really good prospect. And next, we're talking about our first rounders here. We got Olu Fashanu out of Penn State. This guy's been the biggest riser. And by the end of this, we could be talking about him maybe as OT1. Again, a guy with a very small sample size. I just want to see more of him. Regardless, 4-star recruit out of the 2020 class. Played high school basketball. Also, if you didn't know, this dude's a great human being, volunteers at local homeless shelters. So you love to see it. High character guy. As a freshman, didn't see much action, so he redshirted. Played a little bit in 2021, but this season he is a first-time, full-time starter. And you know what? It has looked impressive. He has been so good. Just go to the Michigan game. He was really good. The only times Michigan was getting pressure was opposite of Fashanu. You love to see it. He's got ideal length, ideal size, ideal athleticism for the position. If you didn't know, this guy, I think he has a 6-pack. Might be a 4-pack. Sometimes get that 6 or 8-pack. That's genetics, but guy be physique. I'll just say that I'm a little jealous. He throws very, very stiff punches. It's like a brick going through a windshield. I love that analogy. That's a good analogy. Presents an immovable anchor, very strong base. But when he does need to move, this guy shows quick feet, good lateral ability. He's great at mirror and defenders. He has the ability to go one-on-one with just about anybody, and he's hardly ever on ice skates. He displays very good balance. His high-end traits legit could push him to the top of this class. Now, there is that the run game's kind of the big issue for him. He's not bad at the run game, it's just not ideal. He doesn't have that finisher mentality. He doesn't really rely on leverage. He relies on just very good balance. So again, something just a work in progress with him. Also, the sample size is small. Again, this is his first time as being a full-time starter. So if he maintains that elite play all through this season, then it's like, you know what? I'm sold. So, overall, Fashanu, great. And then we're going to talk about Broderick Jones out of Georgia. This cat was initially my OT1. To be fair, it's just really close. He was a 5-star recruit from the 2020 class, saw very little action as a freshman at right tackle, redshirted, but he did start 4 games at left tackle in 2021 for the injured Jamari Sawyer, and he has started every game at left tackle ever since. There we go. Dude's just playing real good football. He's got a thick frame, plays with just wanted to hit somebody. As you can see, he's going one-on-one and Will Anderson in this picture. Love the mentality, and that's just been on display, like, anytime this guy hits the field. Like, the NFL is going to love this guy's mentality. He's a very good athlete, strong core. Left side of the line looked a lot better in 2021 when he was in instead of Sawyer, who honestly, like, wasn't by any means bad himself. I will say that. You don't have to worry about Broderick Jones, like, getting waist bended. He sinks low. He does a good job of keeping rushers in front of him in pass protection. He's just stupid strong, and he overwhelms defenders. He can legit impose his will onto the defense and doesn't lose power after having to reset his anchor. You love that. This guy's sturdy. Footwork, still an issue. Looks a bit better this year, but still something that's kind of like, it looks a bit lumbering, like almost like dragging his feet to some extent. This guy, like, he's a good athlete. He could definitely move his feet a bit better. So just something he needs to get better at. And again, it's looked better this year. It's still got a ways to go though. There honestly, there's other areas like that kind of stem from the footwork. We could be talking about like leverage. Like, is he a guy that'll, like, if you need the feet to be quicker, you don't want to just be setting your feet on initial contact. You want to be churning. There's mirrored skills. You gotta have quick feet for that. So again, work in progress in that regard, but it has been progressing. I guess that's the best way to put it. Got a top 20 grade on him. And then Paris Johnson Jr. Let's get this out of the way. Best human being in this class. He has a long list of volunteer experience, which includes starting his own foundation for disabled veterans and disadvantaged student athletes. On top of that, this guy is a student of the game. He writes articles for the Ohio State school newspaper, The Lantern, covering sporting events, and has even written articles on his own teammates, which that's kind of cool. He was too good to be kept off the field in 2021. I don't know why they didn't just put like Thayer Mumford or Nicholas Petit-Frere at guard, one of those, and just had Paris Johnson start, but I don't know. They ended up playing him at guard. It was fine. Like, he was good. And now he moved to left tackle, and he looks great. Who would have thought? Great combination of size, length, athleticism. Shows good recognition of what's going on. Good feel for his surroundings. Good feel for pressure. Just dude plays well on the move. He really does. He does a good job of getting to the second level and opening up big plays for his running backs. There's a lot of power in his frame, and he just buries guys in the dirt. Now that we're seeing him, because initially, like, again, he was playing at guard, but for all intents and purposes, he was playing out of position. This is a guy you want to see a tackle, and so technically his sample size at tackle is a bit low, but it's still encouraging. I love what I see. On top of that, like, he's all right in close quarters, but this is a dude you want out on the move. Like, close quarters were, I would say, never his thing, though he didn't struggle terribly at it. You could tell this is a guy you definitely want on the outside. Top 20 prospect currently to me, kind of like fringe top 10. Big fan. And then everyone should know Peter Skoronski, number 1. I got a top 10 grade on him. I guess we could talk about the concerns. Initially, he was sub 300 pounds. He got up to 315. So that was great to see. Arm length doesn't look ideal. In terms of being an athlete, he's not an elite athlete. He's not like, we talk about arm length, and you got like the exception to like this standard, being guys like Penny Sewell, Rashawn Slater, but they were exceptional athletes. Like Skoronski isn't that type of athlete. So there's gonna be a lot of teams be like, is he a tackle or is he a guard? I mean, why not both? Like we could get into it. Dude was recruited as a 4-star recruit in the 2020 class as a center. He was recruited as a center and really only saw time at left tackle because Rashawn Slater opted out of the 2020 season. So like he was kind of like thrown into this situation, and he has probably been like one of the best college football like tackles in college football for the last 3 seasons. Like he's that good. Like if anything, you're talking about positional versatility with Skoronski. You love that. He's a clean technician. His hands are always active. You're literally at his whim when he gets his hands on you. He has a thick base. He can drive guys back from the point of attack. Nimble feet. Doesn't stop churning the feet. I love that. Driving downhill. Like, nice kick slide. Takes good ankles. Coaches talk about his work ethic. They talk about his football IQ. Like, honestly, like, he might be an exception to this arm length and high-end athlete. Like, or at least elite athlete. So, like, I don't know, man. Some people will only view him as guard only, which is fine. He still might be like a top 20 prospect, top 15 in that regard. Like, shoot, maybe even top 10 if you really want to guard that bad. So, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. That's it for the video. Go ahead, do the YouTube thing. As always, until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.